Hello, good morning and welcome back to another deadline stream. I'm off mute, everything is working. Nice to see so many of you in. It is game week 35. We have a midday UK time deadline, which is a very rare occurrence. Normally it happens sometimes during the week when we have a Tuesday deadline, but a Saturday lunchtime deadline is quite nice. Had a relaxed morning, which is not normally the case on a Saturday, which was nice. So nice to see so many of you in. Some of you in the chat asking, oh, Harry, you're live early. As always, I am live early. So those of you who are in early can get your questions answered live. So please say hello in the chat. Let me know where you are watching from as well. Have you made transfers? Are you waiting on some of that Manchester City news? Everything like that as well. So say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. We'll do the usual rounds of hellos. Then we'll get into some of your questions and we will discuss some of the potential Manchester City team news that we might be getting, or some people might already have seen over on Twitter as well, and anything more we might get. Before we do that, thank you, Patrick, for 16 months as a member. Thank you. Look at that orange badge. You are upgrading them. You are upgrading them fast. Thank you very much for the support. So who have we got in? Good morning, RGZ from Serbia. Good morning, Utsav. Good morning, Name. Good morning, Zedin, Jono, Aryaman, Joe Swift, Jono, Max, Ahmed, Ruben, Iceman, Paul, The Flying Ninja, Rory, True Fandela. Good morning to all the members as well in the chat. I can see loads of you in. Thank you all for joining and for all the new members in already this morning. We've got Lewis, we've got Gavin all the way from South Africa. Thank you for joining. Louise, Cheekster, Nazir, Rosen, Rory, Alex, ADZ, Flopping Gaming. I butcher these names every week. I could put a compilation of me reading these names out, and I think it's uncomfortable viewing for you as it is uncomfortable for me. Pathik from India, Alexander from Poland, Teju, Don, and everyone else. Thank you all so much for joining. If you haven't dropped a like on the stream already, please make sure you do so. But yeah, let's get into some of your question. Do I regret my chip use this season? Or am I pretty happy with all my decisions so far? Triple captain worked out well. I can't remember what I did with my wildcard in the first half of the season. I think that was fine. Triple captain went well on Rashford. Definitely happy with that. Bench boost was fine. I think I scored 31 points on it, which is pretty good. I did take a hit to get there, but it was still over 20 after the hit. Second wildcard I was happy with. Free hit was okay. Free hit was kind of a sort of tick box exercise, but yeah, I was happy enough with that. Manchester City team news. So, for any of you who don't know, on Twitter, we have a certain Mr. Ross Raptor who has let us know that he's heard that Haaland is going to start today. He says it's much earlier than he's ever been sent the team before. So still a bit unsure on this, but decided to share it. Doesn't have anything more than that. So at the moment, it's only Haaland that we seem to know about. But it seems like that's good news for him. It seems that a lot of captaincies will probably end up landing on him as well this week. Wilson or Isaac for Jota. To be honest, I think it's probably Callum Wilson is probably where I'm going to end up next week. If I'm setting up, we can go through the data behind it, but Callum Wilson, when he plays, is just a much better asset than I think Isaac is. He has the history of goals. He has the history and the data to back him up as well. So Grealish or Isaac? Well, to answer that, I think we kind of need to know. We need to wait until close to the deadline to know what do we think is going to happen with that Manchester City lineup. And I think that's going to be the same for a lot of you asking whether you should start Grealish this week. We're hoping that we're going to get more news between now and the deadline. So if we get that and Grealish starts, then you start Grealish. If you get that and Grealish is benched, then you bench Grealish. If we don't get it, then I probably think you need to take the risk and just start him because Leeds at home is, Leeds at home is a really nice fixture that I think you just have to take the chance that he's going to start. Will Akanji start? Again, I don't really know. I am expecting a reasonably full strength Manchester City lineup today though. Why start Trippier over Shaw? Trippier over Shaw is a really difficult one. I have gone with the home fixture just to start off with them. That is one of the decisions that I could change on this stream. Alex, thank you very much for the super chat. Triple captain left. Who and when is the best time? I'd probably play it in double game week 37. Manchester City have one there. I'd probably just put it on Haaland. And True Fandela, thank you for your super chat. Shaw or Trippier if you're chasing rank. So I did put a poll up earlier. What did it say? I was asking about what people are going to start. And basically it's a split decision. The ownership of Newcastle defence is going to be higher. So if you're chasing, I would probably go Shaw. Yeah. It's so hard to pick between them. The underlying data is just favouring Trippier. The predicted points just favours Trippier, but I probably expect both of them to concede. You're going to bring in Wilson for Diogo Jota. I don't necessarily think Jota's going to start today. I would be surprised after the press conference quotes, although at some point he's going to have to start again. But yeah, I think he won't start again today. Chelsea were absolutely woeful in the first half versus Arsenal midweek. Did I watch the game as a Chelsea fan? I did. It's very depressing watching my team at the moment, but I'm at the point where I don't really care about our results. I just want the season to end, focus much more on FPL than I am on Chelsea at the moment, just because we're rubbish. And we got Bournemouth today. Fully expect us to lose that, which means I should probably start Solanke. Thanks for the awesome chat. No worries. Do I think Big Sam will have an influence on Leeds' performance today? Yeah, they're probably likely to be a little bit better defensively, but I still don't think that will improve them enough to, improve them enough to be able to stop Manchester City. Harry's put Solanke on the bench again. Well, I have, but I don't know where, who would you start Solanke over? I wish I could start Solanke this week. And if, people might say Watkins, but I'm pretty set on starting Watkins over Solanke. I just don't see a place for him in my lineup. You have Chilwell, help. I'd probably sell him, but should I do Alvarez to Wilson and Grealish to Salah for a -4 this week? Don't sell Alvarez this week. He might end up starting. If we get to the deadline and we know he doesn't start, then yes, maybe consider that. But right now, I wouldn't. One of my members sent me a picture of a lovely cooked chicken just before we came on, and it is making me very jealous. Why replace Watkins? Well, I'm going to start Watkins this week. I think he's a nice pick this week. So yeah, I wouldn't be replacing Watkins. If Alvarez starts, should I sell Solanke for Alvarez? If it gives you if it allows you to get Solanke, if it allows you to strengthen your team this week, because Alvarez will also give you an extra double in game week 37. He probably won't start both in game week 37, but he might get one start, particularly if they've won the league. So yeah, I quite like the Alvarez punt. The only thing to mention on the Alvarez punt is if Alvarez starts alongside Haaland, Alvarez punt is not as good as it would be if Alvarez was starting on his own, not with Haaland, because when he plays with Haaland, he plays that sort of De Bruyne role, the slightly deeper role, the sort of running from deep into the box role. Whereas if he plays instead of Haaland, like he's playing up front, right? And that's definitely where we want him. So if Haaland was not to start, where it looks like he is starting, and Alvarez was, then I think Alvarez is a fantastic punt this week. However, if Alvarez starts with Haaland, I don't think he's nearly as good a pick as if he was starting up top on his own. So if I hear that Alvarez is going to start today, I feel like I probably won't make the transfer now if Haaland's going to start with him. Harry, is Wilson a good pick against a rather shattered Arsenal defence and has a great home record? If you can, again, we don't know that Wilson's going to start. It might be that Wilson doesn't play this one and it's Isaac who plays, but I think Wilson should play, and yeah, I think Wilson should play, and I think he's a really nice option. So if you can get to Wilson this week, great, but I don't think it's worth doing Watkins to Wilson this week, because we might get more news on who's first choice. Like if we get to the weekend and it's Arsenal at home and they have a full week's rest till game week 36 and it's Isaac up front and it's not Wilson, I think a lot of people will then go Isaac because it looks like he's more nailed to play. But if Wilson starts against Arsenal, then great. It looks like he's first choice and Isaac might be playing on the left. So unless you need a striker transfer this week, I would wait and predict next week. Also, if someone gets injured today or tomorrow when the game is, if Isaac or Wilson gets injured and people have moved early and have got the wrong one, it makes it so much easier to go and, get the one that you need, right? If Isaac picks up a knock, then everyone goes Wilson, don't they? If you had 2 free transfers this week, what would I do if I had 2 free transfers this week? That's quite tough. I probably would look at another Manchester City option, and whether that's in defence, and I don't quite know. But if I had 2 transfers this week, I quite like Trippier to Manchester City defender, and then that would allow me for free to do Watkins and Solanke to Isaac and Wilson if I had an extra transfer this week. Wednesday, I think we'll get the Manchester City team news. It's normally about half an hour, 15 minutes before the deadline, so it won't be yet. It won't be yet. Thank you all very much for joining. We are going to try and hit 55,000 subscribers today. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel and if you have not already liked the stream as well, that would be fantastic if you could just do both of those. You just took a -8. I also need to take it so I don't have to... Harry, I just took a -8 to take in Greenwood, Trent and Isaac for Chua, Solanke and Watkins. Was it worth it? I think you needed the money, but I don't necessarily think that the Solanke to Isaac move was worth a hit this week. But overall, those transfers are worth it. And if you need the extra transfer next week, then that's fine. The transfers overall are nice. Is it worth a hit or a -8 this week? Probably not, but... what's my opinion on City defenders? Still John Stones. The position John Stones is taken up in that City team. If you're buying a City defender between now and the end of the season, I'm not going to tell you anyone that isn't John Stones. If you don't have the money for John Stones, then Nathan Ake. But start 2, McAllister, Watkins or Isaac. I'd bench Isaac. Start 3 from these Trippier, Botman. Trippier, Botman I'd bench straight away. And I'd probably bench Mings. Wolves at home have been okay. I expect Villa to win that game, but Wolves at home have been pretty good. It's your mum's birthday. Happy birthday to your mum. Trippier or Trent? Definitely Trent this week. Definitely Trent. I believe Trent. So I got the predicted points from Fantasy Football Scout up here. Again, link is in the description if you want to sign up. You get a discount and all that stuff. But Trent predicted to be the highest point scorer. The only thing with a lot of these models is they still rate Chelsea. And it's the same if you look at by goalkeepers. They still rate Chelsea way too highly. So, yeah. But Trent is top. Then we've got a Stupinan. Then we've got Spurs. You've got Robertson. You've got City. Then you've got Trippier. Trippier is definitely in there. Trippier is definitely the one I'm going... Well, it's currently the one I'm going with over Shaw. So, really random, but... Honestly, right... I'm going to complain. I rarely complain about YouTube, but I posted this on Twitter. Oh wait, membership gifting. Oh, I can do it. Can I not? Sorry, one sec. No, I don't want to gift memberships. Right. Anyway, back to the chat. Start Matoma or Isaac. Probably Matoma. I still want to start my Brighton assets. I know they've not been great recently for some of us, but well, for quite a lot of us, but it's got to be in there. He's got to be in there. Start Isaac or March. Again, that's a bit more tough, but I would still start Solly March. I can't see him not starting. People were worried that he got benched against Manchester United, but his replacements were no good. So I fully expect Solly March to start. He was really good when he came off the bench as well. On a lot of set pieces as well. So, Harry, worth bringing in a Stupinan this week. I feel like it might cost me not having him being 3.1k in the world. I probably would want him. Rory, thank you for 8 months. Only 4 game weeks left. Thanks for the content this season. No worries. Looking forward to finishing with a cracking rank. Let's hope so. A Stupinan or Shaw? Definitely a Stupinan. Raya or Kepa? Kepa. Trippier or Shaw? Can play one. Well, I'm currently on Trippier. Trippier versus Shaw is something might change between now and then. Henry to Stones or Diaz. Again, if I'm picking a City defender this week, it is John Stones. It's definitely going to be John Stones. Sorry. When I look down, I've got my phone out. Of course, I'm scanning for any Manchester City team news that we might get, but we see nothing as of yet. Who do I buy instead of Bruno? Bruno's a good asset. I know he didn't get anything, but none of the United assets did get anything. I like Bruno. I still like him as an asset. They double in game week 37. So, done Henry to a Stupinan. What to do with Darwin? I think there's an okay chance that Darwin might start tonight because Luis Diaz has started enough games. And if Jota's not going to start, then Diaz could start on the left-hand side. And then Darwin could start on the left. And if that's going to happen, then keep Darwin for 1 week and then move to the likes of Isaac or Wilson next week. If you don't want to take the risk on Darwin, just move to one of the Newcastle forwards this week. Mings or Alvarez? I'd probably punt on Alvarez because even if Alvarez doesn't start, you've got to expect that Pep's going to bring some of his key assets off if they're winning. In which case, Alvarez is likely to go on and he might get a decent amount of time. So I probably would go. I probably would start Alvarez. A lot of questions about Manchester City. Should you buy Foden? Should you buy Mahrez? Should you buy Alvarez? Should you bench Grealish? A lot of these questions coming in. It's quite difficult for me to answer them right now. We are expecting more Manchester City team news, which I hope will include Grealish in particular between now and the deadline. I am going to hold off trying to answer some of those Manchester City questions until we get closer. And then we'll start going through, okay, what are all the hypotheticals if we get news of this City player, if we get news of that City player, etc. What I will say is know what you're going to do. And I posted about this morning and it is so key. And I can't emphasize this enough to you all. We may get early news. Basically know what you're going to do in all of those situations. If we hear that Haaland starts with Alvarez, are you going to buy Alvarez? If we hear that Haaland starts and Grealish starts, what are you going to do with your team? If we hear that Grealish is benched, what are you going to do? If we're going to hear Foden starts, what are you going to do? Know the things that might impact your team and know what you're going to do in all of those situations. So when that news comes, you know what you're going to do. And have a route, which is we get no information as well. So know what you're going to do, whether Haaland starts, whether Grealish starts, whether Alvarez starts, all of those. Plan it out because the site might crash. And what's worth bearing in mind is the site hasn't crashed that much recently. However, we're at a time of day now where people in like Australia, where there's a big amount of people playing the game, are going to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and they will get their team news. There are people on the East Coast of America who are able to get up at or stay up until like midnight, 1 a.m. to get the team news. There are more people who are going to be able to get this team news than we've had before. So again, the risk of there being a site crash is definitely there. So it might hold up for 1 or 2 minutes after Manchester City leak comes out if that happens. But know what you're going to do in those 1 or 2 minutes. Those people who don't know what they're going to do and then the leak comes and they go, Grealish is benched. What should I do with him? Should I sell him? Should I keep him? Should I just bench him? Etc. etc. And wait 5 minutes and then the site crashes. Yes, like the site crashing shouldn't happen, but just know what you're going to do and don't put yourself in that situation. Tony out for Isaac. Needn't answer much stress. I probably would do that, yeah. But I probably would go Wilson, to be honest. One of my plans if Haaland doesn't start. If Haaland doesn't start, I will move the captaincy armband off him. I have all my time zones backwards. It's 7 a.m. in America. It is 1 a.m. in Australia, but we almost got there. If Haaland doesn't start, I will still captain him. I will keep him. No, I will not captain him. I will keep him. What's this party parrot stuff being put in the chat? Is that an emoji that's just not showing up on my... Is it an emoji? What's the party parrot? It just says party parrot, and I've seen like 4 different people put it. No, it just says party parrot. Can I wear my glasses? The issue with my glasses, right, is it reflects the ring light and it like green screens it out. But it looks okay today, actually. But I always stress about it. It's from Twitch. Oh, fine. Party parrot. I'm lost. Gakpo or Diogo long term? Gakpo. I wouldn't go Jota because I don't think he's going to start this weekend. If he's got this ongoing back and rib problem, how much are we going to see from him between now and the end of the season? Any news on Jota? Yeah, so he has a back injury and a rib injury as well. Jesus into Isaac Wilson this week or roll? I probably would roll and just do it next week. I don't think you need to rush it this week. Fernandes for free if Mahrez is benched or roll. If Mahrez is benched, then yeah, I do Mahrez to Fernandes. Yes, I would. One sec. Party parrot. Thoughts on Gakpo to Fernandes? I think Gakpo will start tonight, so I probably wouldn't do that. I probably would just hold off. Jota for Solanke. Jota to... Yeah, would I do Jota to Solanke? I don't really understand the people buying Solanke this week. I don't really understand people buying... I'm just trying to work out what... Sorry, I'm thrown right off my game today. Anyway. I don't really understand why people are buying Solanke this week, because if you're buying Solanke, you're not really going to play him. Like, there aren't fixtures between now... There aren't real game weeks between now and the end of the season that you're going to end up playing Solanke. If we look at their fixtures, right, they play... Chelsea at home this week, and like, fair enough, if you want to start him against Chelsea, you can. Palace away in 36. We've all already got enough of a benching headache. What is going on? We've all already got a benching headache in 36, so you're not going to start him there. 37, you're not going to start him. 38, they're away at Everton, who might be fighting for their lives on the final day of the season. Rory, you got a little mod badge there. Don't use and abuse it, please. I needed a few more mods, and you're always here. So, little reward. Thank you for the support. Solanke or Tony this week? I'd probably play Solanke. Estupiñán for a -4. It depends. Is it going to be a -4 next week anyway? Like, if you got to buy a Newcastle forward next week anyway, then just do it for -4 this week. Raya to Edison. No, because we don't actually know if Edison's 100% going to come back in goal. I am starting him. I am expecting him to come back, but I wouldn't do it unless we know for sure that he's going to start today, because there's definitely a possibility that he doesn't and that he goes with Ortega again. Would I take a punt on Foden in for Bruno as a 2-week punt? Only if we get confirmation that he's going to start, then maybe. But I still don't think I'd be buying him, because I'm not sure he starts 2 in the double either. So I don't think I would. I wouldn't be selling. Like, if the City assets come, if it comes that your City assets that you want start, great. But I probably would only be buying them for people that you don't want. Like, I wouldn't be selling Fernandes for them. I wouldn't be selling Rashford for them. I wouldn't be selling Salah. The double Brighton mids, if it allows you to pivot to a better double Brighton, then potentially, but I don't think I'd still even do that, to be honest. So, yeah, I think I would just not. Harry, next year FPL won't be as new, will it? It will only be on So Rare. No, FPL will stay as it is, don't you worry. Is Isaac... Sorry, I have Isaac. Do I go this week Watkins to Wilson and Botman to Trent for a -4? No, I'd probably do it for free next week. Unless you have to start Botman. But what to do with De Bruyne? Again, the Manchester City questions, it's very difficult for me to answer until we get closer to the deadline and potentially hear a little bit more about any team news that we might get. I am scouting out as much as we can. Thank you all very much for joining. Again, if you haven't liked the stream already, please make sure you do so. Can you put Mitch on timeout? Rory, behave yourself. Let's go into your head. We are 99 subscribers as well away from our 55,000 subscriber target for today. So yeah, if you could... I'm sure there's 99 of you in and watching that aren't subscribed. If you could help me hit that, that would be great. Why Trippier over Shaw? Just the home fixture. Shaw at centre-back means the attacking threat's not there. Trippier does have attacking threat. I think both teams concede, to be honest. Any news about De Bruyne? No, nothing more on City apart from we think Haaland's going to start today. Gakpo or Diaz. Gakpo definitely. Start Trippier or Dalot. I'd probably go Dalot in that situation because you do have the attacking threat of Dalot. Start Trippier or Ben White. Trippier, definitely. Ake or Stones this week. Stones. Again, wait till team news though if you're buying City players. Start March or Watkins this week. I'd probably start March over Watkins if I had to pick between one of those two. Your team must be stacked. Who should I start? Watkins or Isaac? Watkins. We can have a look at the predicted points. A lot of you are asking, like, let's go all positions and let's just filter out the premium, shall we? Let's go max price 9. So Foden, Mahrez, if they start, are great. Trent, also great. Let's go. I wish you could filter to attackers here. Let's filter to midfielders. Sorry, it's forwards we need. So March is down at 3.7. But he'd still be right up at the top of the forwards. This would start Watkins over March in theory based on predicted points. But I would probably go March, to be honest. The fixture's good for them. So a few of you asking about future, what I'm planning on going with my team. Let me get FPL.team up. And have a little look, shall we? Let me not... Well, I'm sure you all already know my ID anyway. Can I just say, chat, last week I was telling you all not to take a no goalkeeper transfer was worth a -4. How did that go? Unless you bought Jason Steele, I think I was right. But, I mean, I was generalising, of course, but I think we saw last week that there's no real goalkeepers that any of us really want to be owning at the moment. So, yeah, so I do plan on rolling my transfer this week. It means that 36, I'll have 2. And I think I'm simply going to just use 1 and go Watkins to Wilson, probably. Probably Wilson over Watkins. I'm going to do a bit of analysis next week in one of my videos. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of Watkins-Wilson analysis in one of my videos. So then I'll have, I mean, the benching decisions that we've got next week, I basically have to bench Trent and Shaw. It's horrible. Like, my bench is so good. I could bench boost next week. Anyone still got their bench? I think 36 might be a good time to play it. I don't really have a choice, but I think I'll start something like that. Your move for Edison surprised you. I just had the second free transfer. 37. I then probably add another City asset somewhere in my team. But again, it becomes quite difficult to try and find anywhere to add them. And it's Chelsea at home, Brighton away, which isn't the easiest. But like, I could just do... Like, is it worth using a transfer to do Trippier to like Stones, or I could just start Trent at home to Villa? That's the question. That's the question. But Trippier after their double in 36 is expendable, I think. Well, he then got Leicester at home, to be honest, so I could play him that week. But Konza versus Shaw to start. I'd probably play Konza. Keeping Botman for the double, attempted to go double Newcastle attack. The issue is I can't really afford it. So I did think about it. I did think about going Isaac and Wilson up top. I really wanted to do this. And I posted about it on Twitter to do it at the expense of Trippier. But it leaves me with like no one very viable to go and get in defence. And it would be a -4. Like, I'd have to go and buy Bueno, which is fine. Like, it's okay, but it then doesn't make it very easy for me to go and get a Man City asset in anywhere in my team for the game week 37 double. Like, I would have to basically buy Alvarez. So I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it to go double Newcastle forwards for me next week. I don't think it's worth it. A real question. Grealish or Rashford? Rashford. Well, if Grealish is going to start, you have to find a place for him. But Rashford out of the two, because he's definitely going to start. Alvarez is a good shout for game week 37. Double game week for City. He's likely to get minutes, yeah, but is he likely to start either if De Bruyne is back? That's the question. That's the question. And if you knew that Alvarez was going to start one this week and start one in the double, then you'd do it. Then we would all be doing it. But I suppose the big question is, if we don't know he starts today, then that's just too much doubt in my mind. You then have to start both in the double for it really to be worth it. We have nothing in terms of news yet. If you guys see any news, please, let me know. But I haven't seen anything more. Start Steele or Edison. I'd probably play Steele, to be honest, because the save points means that a clean sheet for both teams is much better for Steele than it is for Edison as a pick. You having Steele and Edison, who are you going to start in game week 37? Probably Steele, but start Robbo. Yes, I think he should come back into that lineup today. Can I say all your plans if we get Manchester City news? Yeah, it doesn't impact me that much. The only situation where I think I make a transfer is if Haaland doesn't start and Alvarez does. And then I think I'd do Watkins to Alvarez. But even in those situations, I don't know if I will. That's the plan anyway. The only thing I think I'll do is Watkins to Alvarez if we get the right variation of news that I think he's going to be playing very, very far forward. He could even play on the wing, which I don't really want either. So, yeah, I think... I think it probably doesn't impact me that much. It's just Haaland. And if Haaland doesn't start, then that's when I have transfers to make, because then I probably do Watkins to Alvarez and then I'll move the captaincy off Erling Haaland is probably where I'm at. I could do something if like Foden starts, the temptation will be there. Fernandes has been fine, but he's not been amazing, and it does allow a little bit more flexibility with my team if I don't have Fernandes. So Guys, I think Mitchell is going crazy trying to get this stream to 400 likes. If we could save him a little bit of stress and save his keyboard and his fingers and just get it there, that would be great. Mitch, chill. Mitchell, chill. If no team news, would I play Grealish and Alvarez? Yes, because I think you've got to get yes, you probably got to take the gamble that at least one of them starts. How much younger than Sam am I? Sam who? Which Sam? Is Haaland going to start? We have rumours that he is... Well, Ross, FPL Raptor, has been told by his source that he is going to start. But we don't know... Like, Ross says it's earlier than he's ever had the news, which is why he's a little bit unsure, basically. But I don't see any reason to doubt it. I'm good, thank you, Mo. Thank you for asking. Shaw or Mings today? I'd probably play Mings. Watkins or Isaac? I'd go Watkins. There's a mass sell-off of Watkins, which I don't really understand. It's the highest predicted point scoring forward this week. If we look by game week transfers out, he's got, like, why is almost 200,000 people? He's almost the joint most transferred out player this week. He's blanked a few in the row, but I don't necessarily think it's worth it. Scott O'Brien, thank you very much. Yes, sorry, this chat does freeze occasionally. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Welcome to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. If anyone's wondering how you join as a member, there is, of course, the join button on screen here. If you have any questions, feel free to watch the little video that it has, but also feel free to DM me on Twitter if you have any questions. Why is that not loading? Ooh. I hope it didn't just lag, but the frames dropped slightly. But I hope it's okay. Hope it's okay. Watkins or Eze? Watkins. Yeah. Watkins is right up there for predicted points this week. Right up there. What is my transfer today? I kind of need Manchester. The frames are jumping around quite a lot, but it's not saying I'm dropping any. Could you guys just let me know if the stream is fine or not? Has it lagged at all? Like, I think it should be fine, but... Weird. Sorry, one sec. Everyone's saying the stream's fine. It's weird. It's like jumping around loads. Stream is fine. Okay. Fine. Right, well, let's plug on, and if it starts to get bad, then let me know. I did miss some super chats in that. Thank you for Scott for becoming a member. If Jota is out, 3 City and 3 Brighton, who? Then go to a Newcastle forward if you don't have triple up on Newcastle. If Grealish is out, go to Foden or Bruno or save 1 free transfer. The chat being skittish is not the stream's fault. That's the thing that I use to get the chat on there. Sorry, it is just really throwing me off. But anyway, Edison to Ortega if he's starting again for the cash. No, because Edison could easily come back in at some point. If Grealish is out, go to Foden or Bruno and save 1 free transfer. If we know Foden's going to start, you'd probably want to punt there. It's a good punt, I think, today. Everyone's saying it's just good. Alright, I'm going to believe you all. I'm just going to believe you all. I'm planning on starting... If it's been fine for the past 5 minutes and not lagged at all, do I live by an airport? No, but I live in London and there is something quite big going on in London today. So there are helicopters and stuff flying around. I am planning on starting Trippier over Luke Shaw, yes. Yes. Just clean sheet odds are very similar for the two. The attacking threat is better for Trippier. He's got to get a return at some point. I'm interested to know who you guys are starting for this week. Ooh. I don't know where I'm typing that, but... Give me 2 secs. Right, what was I going to ask? Who are you starting? Come on, Harry. Let's get yourself together, start a poll. Who are you starting? Newcastle defence. Manchester United defence. Both. Neither. Ask. It's okay, yes, right. I'll just ignore the flashing of warning signs that I'm getting. So, sell Watkins or keep. I'd keep him for this week. I don't really understand the mass sell of Watkins this week. Not against Arsenal. West Ham is easier. West Ham is an easier fixture, but away versus at home makes the difference. Something big going on in London. We're getting a new king. Yes. For anyone unaware, there is a coronation going on. When are we getting news? I'm hoping in about 20 minutes, half an hour. You'd start Dalot. Dallow's different though, because Dalot is playing at fullback, so he does have a bit more attacking threat than Shaw does. So any team news yet? No, we have nothing yet. We have nothing yet. FPL team rumor. Rumors, guys. If you see team news on Twitter, please go and tag me in them. Otherwise, I can't be certain that they're reliable or not. So please tag me or share them with me. That would be helpful. Start Bruno or Isaac. Bruno. You're starting in Ciso. If you've got in Ciso, lucky you. I think those Brighton attackers, those strikers are Welbeck and Ciso. I really like as options. I wish I could be getting one of them into my team this week, but I just have no room for it. There's no space for it. Slanky going to have a good game, I think. Yeah, but it's just there's no way where in my starting 11 that I have to play him, to be honest. What is going on? Why are they over my house all of a sudden? Grealish starts. Source your FPL team. Oh, right. Got it. I understand. You're starting him. Punt on Mahrez captain. No, I wouldn't do that. It is one of those weeks that it would have been a good week to punt on a differential captain if we knew that Haaland wasn't going to start. But it sounds like Haaland is going to start, so I probably wouldn't be punting on a captain this week. You voted already. Most of you, it's pretty equal between them, to be honest. It's a pretty even split. So it could be one of those swings this week. Who gets some points? Is it going to be the Manchester United defence? Is it going to be the Newcastle defence? Yeah. I'm currently on Trippier, but it's pretty close between them. Isaac or Solanke start. I'd start Isaac. Dalot, Estupiñán, Diaz, Trent and Trippier to end up in the season as your defensive line, and De Gea as your starting goalkeeper. Yeah, it's a nice setup. If I was wildcarding, it would be pretty similar. I might go Stones over Diaz. Punt on KDB captain, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be punting on a captain that isn't. I wouldn't be punting on a captain that isn't Haaland, to be honest, this week, unless we get confirmed news. That Andy Martin tweet is bizarre because why has he done the move now? Like, he bought 2 City players before the leak. Seems weird, but anyway. Bench Grealish, Alvarez, Mitoma, March, Watkins or Rashford. Again, we need to wait for Manchester City team news before I can answer like any of these City questions. We need to wait, and if your players are going to start, then you start them. If they're not going to start, then you don't start them. And if they do all start, then if Grealish and Alvarez both start, then you have to bench probably March and Watkins. But odds on Grealish not starting, I'd say it's about 60% chance to start today, but I still think Pep will want a fully strong City lineup today. Jota update, nothing apart from he's got a back problem and a rib injury, which means I think he's unlikely to start in today's game, which means those people who punted on him, it is quite unfortunate because he looked like a great option for the double. Raya or Kepa, I'd start Kepa. Kepa or Steele? Steele, definitely. What's the plan for the leak? Well, we're hoping we might get it in the next 20 minutes or so. That's the hope anyway. Solanke to Wilson. If you're having it, no, I probably would wait a week. I don't think there's a rush to go and buy your Newcastle forwards this week. I would just wait on it and do it next week. Like, Solanke's a good option. You get an extra bit of information. If Wilson is benched against Arsenal, then it's weird because it then looks like Isaac is still first choice in big games, one of which is Brighton. So I would wait. I wouldn't buy a Newcastle forward. I'd roll your transfer unless you have to make a move this week. And to be honest, the only reason you need to be making a move this week is probably if you own Diego Jota, and 2, if you own a Manchester City asset that gets benched. So if Foden is starting, would I move Bruno to him for a 1-week punt? No, because I just want him back. Game week 36, Wolves at home. Game week 37, Bournemouth and Chelsea. Game week 38, Fulham at home with nothing else to play for. Like, surely you've got to expect Bruno to start all of these, and I don't really want Foden starting 3 out of 5. Have we got any news? Nothing really, apart from potentially, well, FPL Raptor has tweeted saying that he's been told that Haaland starts. Honestly, what is going on out there? I feel like I'm in danger. I feel like I'm going to get that warning thing coming up on my phone. There's so many things flying around my house. Isaac to Alvarez, if news comes. No, don't go selling Newcastle forwards this week. No. Andy's done the move as there's 99% chance them starting, so going for upside. Yeah, but you may as well wait for the leak, right? Like, there's no need to have done it 15 minutes early. I feel like, yeah, it seems weird, but anyway. Likelihood of KDB and Grealish starting again. Let's leave Manchester City stuff until half an hour before the deadline, and then we can basically do what I would do in all of these situations if player A is benched, player B is benched, player A starts, etc., etc. Let's get through some of the other stuff first. Isaac or Martinelli, I'd probably start Isaac. I think Newcastle, I know people might not agree, but I think Newcastle might win that game. We are 50 subscribers away from our 55,000 subscriber goal for today. And we have just hit 2,000 viewers as well. So thank you all and happy Saturday. Foden worth a punt if he starts. Only if you've got an easy route to get him into your midfield. It's very difficult to find a punt space in your midfield. And people might want to sell Fernandes, and that's fine, but I wouldn't want to be selling Fernandes because you'll just want him back. We're going to put on subscriber only mode. You literally have to have been subscribed for 1 second to be able to start using the chat again. But with stuff, a lot going to kick off between now and the deadline, we will, of course, prioritize subscribers only. Right, best Brighton attacking option. It's still Matoma in my opinion. Should I sell Odegaard for Foden? Should you sell Odegaard for Foden? If we know Foden starts, but we don't know that yet. What to do with Tony this week, you reckon? I mean, you can sell him if you want. Newcastle striker or Alvarez if he starts. Martinelli or Gakpo. Gakpo definitely. Martinelli or Shaw. Martinelli, Tony to Wilson. Yeah, I don't dislike that. If I start Isaac, should I start Trippier as well or go with Shaw instead? I don't think that should really play into your decision making that much. I probably would just go Trippier like I am. Bench 2, Tony, Shaw, Jota, Moreno. Tony, Shaw, Jota, Moreno. Bench 2. Tony definitely. Well, Jota doesn't sound like Jota's going to start, and I don't really want to play 2 defenders. Like, I'd sell one of your strikers. I'd sell Tony or Jota and start Moreno. Kane and the City mid versus Salah and Watkins. Well, yeah, but I'm not taking a -4. Like, I understand the reasoning behind that. And it could work out, to be fair. Hutch, can I get a shout out for the Fancy Family group, please, Harry? Shout out, you guys. Yeah, I could do Salah and Watkins to Kane and, like, Foden. But I feel like that's risky for a -4. I know if Foden starts, like it could pay off, but I think I might wait until like game week 37 before I decide to do something like that. When I could do it for free as well. There are literally... Right, these helicopters are going to have words. I'm going to send an angry letter. You disrupted my stream. Which one to bench? Isaac, March, or Grealish? Again, Isaac if Grealish starts. The only leak we have on Manchester City so far is Raptors being told by a source that Haaland starts. It's earlier than he expected, and he hasn't been told any other players as of yet. We have 40 minutes exactly between now and the deadline. But we have nothing concrete yet on anyone else. Nothing concrete yet. Start Forster or Raya. Forster. Kai, that really made me laugh. Ali Isak in the helicopter. I feel I need to get Isaac into your starting lineup, but don't know how. Could bench March, Watkins, or Matoma. Like, the only one I'd probably bench... You could bench March or Watkins for them. They're all 50-50 calls there. Isaac is predicted to score... March is predicted to score the least points out of them all. We don't have... We're still waiting on City team news. We are still waiting on it. Rumours have it that it will only come once I've hit 55,000 subscribers. And we're still 29 away. So, looks like no Man City team news for any of you. Which one to bench? Isaac. Yeah, we've done that. Again, it's difficult. Start Watkins or Isaac. I'd probably start Watkins, to be honest. I still think Arsenal are okay, but they are going to probably be without both of their first choice centre-backs, which, of course, is a little bit of a worry for them. Get rid of Jota or just bench. It depends what you've got as replacement this week. If you can, just bench him. If not, then sell him. Watkins to Callum Wilson or bank. I'd probably just bank it. Unless you need to make the transfer this week, I'd probably just bank it. One will play Matoma or March. March is behind Matoma, I think. Matoma should have scored against United. He's looking really good again still. So bench 2, Solanke. You've put Matoma there twice. So I don't know who the other one is. You'd start Abdulaziz. Thank you for joining as a base tier member. Appreciate it and welcome to the group. Right, I need to slow this chat down again. It's giving me a headache like it did last week. My gosh, my windows are shaking. They're just going around and around and around. You'd start Solanke and bench Watkins on your team, Harry. I'm not benching what I like. It'll probably Watkins will end up blanking again, but I'm not benching him. I'm not benching him. It's going like this. Captain Haaland or Salah. Haaland leads. I'm not looking at anyone else. Only this game week, Jota or Isaac or Wilson. It's for this game week only, then probably Wilson. We're taking a -4 for Mings to a Stupinan. If you're going to be a -4 next week anyway, then yeah, just get it done because it's a better asset this week. But yeah. Trippier or Isaac. I'd start Isaac over Trippier. Do I think Haaland gets longer than 45? It depends on the state of the game. If they're 0-0 at half-time, he gets more than 45. If they're 4-0 up, then no, maybe he doesn't get more than 45. But if they're 4-0 up, Haaland's probably scored a hat-trick. So, who would I start? Solanke or Martinelli? Probably Solanke. Start McAllister or Grealish. Depends if Grealish starts today. If no Grealish, transfer to... I'd probably go Bruno. Ziad, thank you for joining as a channel member. Welcome again. Thank you all for the new members and for the super chats today. Any leaks about City? We still haven't got anything yet. We still haven't got anything yet on that one. Solanke to Alvarez if elite -4. Not for a hit. Not for a hit, no. Sure, Solanke will haul. Chelsea are rubbish, but maybe. But I'm not doing it. I'm starting it like this. I'm starting it like this. If De Bruyne is benched, De Bruyne and Henry to Bruno and Trent, yes, I would do that. Bruno better than Grealish going forward? Probably, although Grealish has been unlucky the past couple of weeks not to get anything. Grealish has been unlucky not to get anything. We need one more subscriber. Start Isaac or Odegaard. Isaac. I know Odegaard just scored 2, but still back Isaac out of those 2. How long have we got? Half an hour. Any team news? Nope, not that I've seen yet. Not that I've seen yet. I'm keeping an eye on them all. Keeping an eye on it. Liverpool fan, but you hate owning Salah right now. He's too isolated and recently got points for pens and that's it. But then eventually he's going to get points that are not for pens. And then he's got the points for the pens this week and then maybe last week. And then maybe this week he gets open play points, which are the best. But I wouldn't worry too much about Salah. Like someone in the chat did suggest Salah to Foden, Watkins to Kane. Which I don't hate this week. But I just don't think I will probably do it. Kane's a good asset. Kane's a big differential this week as well. But for a -4, I don't think it's worth it. If I could do it for free, then yes. Am I locked in? Absolutely not. City team news could change the way my team looks for sure. It's not Isaac. You say Isaac. Apologies. Alexander Isaac. Best City defender, can't afford Diaz. John Stones, definitely my #1 pick at the moment. If you can't afford him, then yeah, if you can't afford him, then go down to Ake, but I still like Stones. Still nothing. Honestly. My house is shaking. My flat even. Sell Jota to Wilson or Isaac. Yes, I'd probably go Wilson. Solanke or Saka. Probably play Saka. Any news about City formation? No, nothing on Man City yet. If you put an emoji, Harry always responds. do I? Especially if it's one of my members' emojis, then definitely. But get to here this week. Probably not worth a transfer. Am I concerned about Ederson at all? A little bit, but like there's not that much I can do about it. And this is why I kept Kepa over Ederson. Kepa's rubbish, but if Ederson has lost his place, I more thought that Ederson could get injured or something. I didn't think he'd lose his place. But then I have Bournemouth away, Forest at home, double Newcastle at home. Like, it's okay if I have to play him. I mean, we're rubbish, and I expect us to concede in every game, but it could be worse. Triple Haaland? No. If you have a triple captain, save it for the double in 37. Half an hour to go until the deadline. Pope or Raya to start? Probably Pope. De Bruyne news, nothing. We have nothing on City yet. We have nothing. Don't worry, I'll bring it to you when we do. Robertson to Estupinan, so you can do Solanke to Wilson next week. Yes, I probably would do those. Alvarez will start. Do I think... Right. I also live near a church and the bells have just started chiming as well. Do they not know that there's an FPL deadline in 30 minutes? Would I sell Kepa to Steele? Yeah, Steele, De Gea are the number 2 goalkeepers I want. Steele is number 1, but Steele is definitely the one that I want, but a lot of people already have triple Brighton. Gibbs White, like a differential choice. The issue is, with a lot of the differentials we can pick at the moment, is none of them double. Like, Gibbs White doesn't have a double. A lot of the teams, the template picks have doubles, and that's why they are template picks. A lot of the differentials... Yeah, I know it's the coronation. And I think he was being coronated at 1. Which is why the bells are going off. I do know, it was a joke. Ooh, okay, so... We have something. 120 on Instagram. See you there. So, we have 120 team news and ticks. So, that gives us 20 minutes before the chaos begins. And that will then only give us That will then only give us 10 minutes before the deadline, and that server, I think that server's going to crash. I really do. I think the server could definitely crash. Which game week should I target to use the bench boost chip? Game week 36 or 37, depending on how your bench looks next week. What is my plan for what to do when we get City team news? I'm going to go through all of that now. Panic time coming very shortly, yes. He gives you 10 minutes. The server could very easily crash a minute or two after that leak comes out when people start to do stuff. So, do I think Ake starts again? I don't know, and we're going to have to wait. I don't know if that one... For what it's worth, apparently Leeds have dropped Meslier, who's been awful, and he's been so shot of confidence as well. Kane captain, I don't think I'd do it over Haaland if we know that Haaland's going to start. Should I start Stones if he's leaked to start? Yes. If your City players are leaked to start, then yes, please start them. Bench 2, start 2. Matoma, March, Grealish, Solanke. Again, Solanke on the bench and Grealish on the bench if he doesn't start. And then March on the bench if he does start. Give us your City starting 11 predictions just for fun. Edison, Laporte, Diaz, Stones, Walker, Rodri, De Bruyne, Grealish, Foden, Mahrez, Haaland. Because I think we might see Grealish actually play central. He's done it a few times recently when he's come on, but that's a guess. Yeah, apparently Meslier doesn't start, which is no good or bad thing. He's not been very good recently, to be honest. So, but then they're bringing in a keeper who's hardly played. So, Stones or Trippier. I'd start Stones. Is the leak guy always right? Almost always. Well, I think always actually. He's always. I don't think I've known a time he's not been right. So yes, I will be trusting what he says when it comes out. Best replacement for Jota. The leak guy is not a troll. Best replacement for Jota. Alvarez if he starts, but probably one of the Newcastle forwards. Because I'm boring, the Alvarez punt probably is not what I'll recommend to a lot of people. Should we use the app in case the website crashes? It's probably worth noting that as well, that the website normally crashes before the app, but the app then just becomes really slow because everyone starts to use it. Make sure you've got the app downloaded, because last time we had it, people were struggling to download the app. You buy Vardy. Just the thing is, like, as I said, all the differentials that we want don't have a double. So Leicester don't double, for example. So it's just difficult. Like Leicester don't double. All the other, like Spurs don't double. It's just hard to find differentials because you're basically sacrificing a fixture. What about De Bruyne? We don't know yet. We are likely to hear in 15 minutes. Can I just test something with you both? With you all. Can you hear this? Does the sound come through? Actually, I don't know if that one has sound. This one. Does the sound come through? Can you hear that?
Thank you so much for coming. It's incredible. So beautiful to have so many of you to find out this news from Team News Antics to give you.
That's the old one, right? On that one, can you hear that? No. On the one of him speaking, you can hear it. Yes. Oh, the roulette one, I don't think had any sound. The one of him speaking, you can hear it. Right, cool. That means when it comes round. Yes, good volume 2. Fine. That's good. Yes, we can. Good. Thank you all. So when it comes out, it just means that I can play it on the stream and you'll all be able to hear it. Thank you. We have what time is it? 13 minutes to go. Let me just retweet the stream, shall we? Cool. So, roulette, no, the roulette didn't have any sound, so I didn't use a good one there. Start 2, Matoma, March, Watkins. I'd probably bench Watkins, to be honest. I don't like it, but... Start Trippier or Grealish. Definitely Grealish if we hear that he starts. Watkins or March. It's pretty close. Watkins has predicted more points, but I just like the fixture for March. I really like it. The predicted points say Watkins. Why not Shaw over Trippier? If Shaw was at left back, I probably would do it. If Shaw was left back, I would probably start him. But the attacking threat that Trippier's got, the lineup is out. Go check. Like it's not anywhere. Meslier dropped is really interesting. Everyone's like, I wonder if his video is going to be 10 minutes long. So please, as always, have your planned transfers. Know what you're going to do if Grealish starts, if Haaland starts, if Haaland's benched, etc. If Haaland's benched, I'll probably move the captaincy. It will probably end up on Mo Salah, to be honest. And if Haaland's benched and Alvarez starts, I'll probably do Watkins to Alvarez and I'll probably punt on that. If Haaland starts alongside Alvarez, then the captaincy will be on Haaland and I will probably roll my transfer. It's basically all down to whether Haaland starts. It's probably down to whether Haaland starts or not. I mean, we're pretty certain Haaland starts anyway, because Ross's sources told him that already. But yeah, like the website could easily crash. So please be ready and planned ahead for you know what you're going to do. The lineup's not out. If Grealish and Foden both start, is it worth bringing in Foden for Grealish anyways? No. I think Grealish is more nailed. I think Grealish will play more minutes between now and the end of the season. Everyone's saying, why are you all saying the team's out? It's not. Should I start Alisson or Steele? I'd go Steele. You'd go Steele. If Alvarez starts, you will sell Watkins for him. Only if Haaland doesn't start, because I don't necessarily love Alvarez as much when he plays alongside Haaland. He's much better off on his own. Just before we get to that, a few final reminders. Please make sure you've liked and please make sure you've subscribed as well. We're close to 1,000 likes on the stream. If you could just help me get there, don't leave it to someone else. That would be fantastic. And we've hit 55,000 subscribers as well. It's a lineup from 2021. Good stuff. We've hit 55,000 as well. So thank you all and welcome. How do I... Are there any mods in the chat? Our lineup is out. No, it's not. Thank you. We have nothing on City yet, and we won't get everyone, right? There won't be every player won't be mentioned. It won't be a full lineup. It will probably be 2 or 3 players max. Watkins or March, please. Watkins. Andy's just confirmed. Same person who told me Edison was benched midweek says that Haaland starts. That is from Let's Talk. I've got so many Twitter tabs open. Let me get it up for you. We still need the rest of them. So, we look like we are fairly confident on... Well, it looks like we're confident on Haaland. It's just on any of the others. It's Grealish, it's Edison, it's Alvarez. But I don't really care too much about Edison. To be honest, I don't really care too much about Edison. because if he doesn't start, then he won't come on. Those of you saying in the chat, sounds coming through, I feel like your stream is about 5 minutes late. So, does Grealish start? We don't know that yet. Unfortunately, I don't get any info on my own, but now, Grealish news, I don't have any. Am I avoiding certain chats? You're ignoring a lot of mine. Sorry, Lion, no. Please put your stuff in the chat again. I know you're a member, so that's my fault. If Grealish is benched, is it fine to bench him and sub Trippier, Tony, Shaw? Yes. Yeah, if Grealish is benched, I would just bench him. If Grealish is benched, I would just bench him, yes. The same goes for Haaland, of course. De Bruyne's benched, I might advise selling him, to be honest. The City defenders, if they're benched, then yes, I'd bench him. Haaland starts, yes. We have 2 different sources on Twitter saying that they both start, and Meslier on the bench as well. We have nothing more than that at the moment. Team news and ticks is coming in clutch 10 minutes before the deadline. And if anyone sees anything else on Twitter, please make sure to tag me. So Henry to Stones for a hit. If we know that Stones starts, then yes, but only then. Watkins, Mings, or Trippier are ranked to start. Watkins first, Mings second, Trippier third, probably. Start Isaac or Watkins. Watkins. I don't know where all you guys are seeing any news on, so please don't. If you're going to put stuff in the chat, please tag me in it on Twitter. Otherwise, I will assume that you are not telling the truth. Sorry, I dropped my phone. That hot full team is not. It's not it. Yeah, we know on Haaland, but we don't know anything else. We know on Haaland, but that's all we've got at the moment. Why not Shaw? Sorry, let me go back to my team. I'm just going with Trippier over Shaw. It's pretty close between the two. Start March or Mitoma? Mitoma is definitely the #1 Brighton asset for me still. Would I start Alvarez or Grealish? I'd wait till we hear news and then make a decision. 5 minutes until we get news. Yes. Please make sure we are so close to 1,000 likes as well. We are very close to 1,000 likes. Start Isaac or Watkins. Watkins. You keep missing my question. Should I start Mings over Grealish, considering that Grealish might be benched? I'd wait until we hear, and if we get no news, then I'd start Grealish. You've got to take the chance. Grealish starting is better than... I'd take the chance on Grealish, unless we hear that he doesn't start. Apologies if I'm missing questions. KDB and Mahrez, we don't know that. Tarek Mode, please tag me or not if you have any actual news. Start McAllister or Solanke. Start McAllister or Solanke. McAllister. McAllister. By Wilson or Isaac. By Wilson or Isaac. I think I'm Team Wilson over Team Isaac. Again, all the City questions, just wait and make sure you know what you're going to do. The website may well crash straight after we get that team news. Will Stones play? We don't know yet. We don't know anything yet. We have a minute and a half to go until the deadline. Is Haaland starting? Yes, sounds like it. He is. Moreno or Grealish? Grealish if he starts. KDB replacements. If he doesn't start, Bruno. Bruno, or you go to one of the City mids that does start. Will Martinelli play today? Yes, I don't think he'll be on the bench again. What do you do if Haaland is benched? You don't have a bench. I still would just bench him. I definitely wouldn't sell him, but you might want to use a transfer elsewhere, like on another forward or another defender to get someone you do want, but don't go selling Haaland. But it looks like he's going to start. I wouldn't worry on Haaland. Both Raptor and Andy have said that he's going to start. Make sure you've liked, make sure you've subscribed as we go into the minute before we get... yeah, make sure you've planned, make sure you've liked, subscribed. It is going to be, yeah, right up until the deadline. Now we have 1 minute to go. Right, let me start refreshing this page so we can be the first ones to view it. I might have to mute myself as well because I don't want you to hear it twice. Apparently, so we have more. Apparently, Andy and is that Heisenberg have both said that Grealish is benched. And there's also no John Stones, apparently. Let me check on... How long have we got? Let's check if Andy tweeted it or not. Maybe he said it on his stream. No. Edison starts, apparently. Haaland, Grealish, info. Apparently Grealish is not in the starting 11. So apparently Edison starts and apparently Grealish and Stones don't. And Edison and Haaland start. But we are going to check this guy's team news as well when it does come out. We've got, it's 10 minutes to the deadline now, so this guy should be tweeting or Instagramming any moment. His Instagram is gonna, yeah, so apparently there is Andy saying there's no Grealish, but Edison does start. He does this. He waits right up until the end. Does Mahrez start? We don't know that. If Grealish doesn't start, I'd be surprised if Mahrez doesn't as well. But it could be Bernardo Silva. Sell Grealish for Mahrez? I wouldn't. I'd just bench Grealish because I still think he's the best for the double, likely to start both games. Is he having a laugh? Is he actually having a laugh? Right. Well, I'm going to have to listen to this on my phone because I'm not playing that loud on stream. I'm going to have to... For God's sake. Oh, God. Oh, it's going to be clipped everywhere. Oh, dear. I imagine everyone... I don't know if your son is watching. It says Haaland and De Bruyne both start. It says Haaland and De Bruyne both starts, which isn't necessarily great for Alvarez if De Bruyne is going to start. He said Haaland starts, De Bruyne starts. Oh no. That sound was loud. I know. I whacked it up because I wanted you guys to hear it. Edison in for Riot. If you've got no one else. If you've got no one else. Raptor got done as well. Oh no. Your customers are like, I'm really sorry to anyone that's just played really loudly too. You're going to have to show them and explain it. But it says apparently so. Haaland starts, Edison starts, De Bruyne starts, Grealish does not start, and apparently Stones doesn't start either. Ake does, Akanji does. Yeah, unbelievable. And was like, my mum was sat next to me. That you're on a boat, and I'm really sorry to anyone that's done. By Iverson or Forster to save the money. I'll probably go Iverson because I still think that Lloris will start some. Your grandparents are wondering what's going on. Oh dear. He's got us all, and I imagine there's loads of people that got. You've got me on in the living room. Your 5-year-old was sat next to me. Does Foden start? We don't know. But I would imagine Foden does start, but we don't have it confirmed, and we don't have Mahrez confirmed either. Grealish, it says not start. Grealish bench for Solanke, I probably would. From what's being said, there's no Grealish, so from what's being said, I'd probably bench him. Watkins to Wilson is chasing rank. I still think I'd keep Watkins this week, but if you're really chasing, then you could do it a week early. Do we have anything on Stones? No, they have. Heisenberg's been told that this is the defence. Lewis, Laporte, Ake, Akanji, but I haven't seen that as a source before, but play Grealish or Trippier. I mean, I don't love either. Probably Trippier now. Someone just replied saying they were with his teacher. With an arm game week 37, what Manchester City defender would I buy this week? Ake. You had it on in your TV. I apologise as much as I can that was there. Funniest end of a stream. So I think I'm gonna roll like this. Do I transfer Stones out for Ake? No. Or like you could do, but like Ake, they could make subs at half time. Summary. Basically, this is what is as much as we know summarised in a tweet. Haaland, De Bruyne, Alvarez. This says Mahrez does start and Alvarez, which is maybe means Foden doesn't, but it could be Foden as well. But no Grealish. Defence of Lewis. I probably wouldn't be buying Foden based off this if I was you. How long have we got? 3 minutes to go to the deadline. Your parents just disowned you. Raya or Kepa. Kepa, Alex Moreno or Tony. I'd probably start Moreno. Hope Isaac starts. I can't see Isaac not starting. I think Isaac and Wilson will both start. Isaac and Martinelli. Isaac, Trippier to Ake to find a way for Greenwood to Wilson in the next game week. If that frees you up money and it still gives you triple Newcastle, then yes. Chaël to Trippier to start. I'm not sure. No, I don't think I'd do that this week. Stones. It doesn't include Stones in the defence, which is interesting. By Fernandes or Luis Diaz. Fernandes, he has a double, and no, this is the least reliable that I've seen, but apparently he's got everything else in the tweet right, so the Stones one is hard to predict. If you've got a good alternative, then maybe, but that's just what's being tweeted, and I can only show you what's on Twitter, unfortunately, on that one. The Grealish and the Haaland one seems nailed on because that's all over Twitter and that's confirmed by lots of different people. So yes, sorry. 50 seconds to the deadline. Isaac or Wilson? I'd go Wilson. Start Edison or Steele. Steele. You have both Grealish and Stones, and if they are benched, you'll just bench them. But who do I sub in? Trippier, Tony, Shaw. I'd probably play Tony, or you could sell Tony to Wilson and start Wilson, and then I'm playing Trippier. But you don't have very long at all. 2 minutes to the deadline, not even. We have 30 seconds to go to the deadline. So that is going to be that, I think. That is going to be that. By the time you see it, should I bring in Edison for Raya? Yes. Yes, I would. If you've got time, Zayed, start Diaz or Trippier, I'd start Diaz. That is going to be the deadline. Start Tones. I'd start Tony over Stones, but that is going to be that. I imagine the game is updating now. I'm going to have to find a clip of that. If anyone wants to post a clip of Team News and Ticks getting me, that would be absolutely hilarious. If not, I'll go and find it myself. That is going to be the deadline. Of course, we'll stay live for a little bit more. Thank you all for joining. If you have... Thank you all for joining. If you have, for all the new subscribers as well, we hit our 55,000, which was our season-long goal. So thank you all. Thank you all for the support and on this stream. What a crazy end to the stream. That clip's going to be everywhere. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Mahrez starts per FPL South. FPL South is not a reliable source. I have him blocked on Twitter because he talks rubbish. Anyone that I see that ever talks rubbish just gets blocked, so I know who to trust and who not to trust. He's probably just tweeting everyone else's info now 15 minutes later than everyone else did. Apparently, the team is... How does that work? Rodri, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Foden, Alvarez, Haaland. Action-packed stream. It was indeed. I'm still a bit thrown off. Best of luck, everyone. Yeah, hoping for a green arrow this week. In getting as close to the top 100 as I can. I'm not playing the clip again. I might post it on Twitter, although I don't want to get banned on posting on Twitter. So if someone else want to take the risk and I'll just retweet it, that would be great. It was so stressful. Wasn't too bad in the end, apart from Grealish. Interested to see what people did with Grealish, what the sales were like with Grealish. And all of that. But that is the deadline. This was how I lined up in the end. I didn't end up making any changes after the deadline. So yeah, dear, what an end to the stream. In terms of transfers next week, I can show you. I just closed the tab. Can I still show you? No, I can't. The game is updating. nightmare. In terms of transfers next week, I can talk you through it. I'm considering just doing Watkins straight to a Newcastle forward. I will be tripling up on Newcastle. It's just whether it's worth a second transfer and -4 to go and get the second Newcastle forward in. But I think it's unlikely. I think I'll do Watkins to Wilson is currently my preference. Anyway, KDB starting. Congratulations to anyone who went KDB last week. I hope it pays off for you. We are going to wrap up the stream there. We are going to wrap it up now. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for putting up with what I thought was lagging, but wasn't lag. Lineups coming out at 2 o'clock. Yeah, there's a lot of time between now and then. Thank you all so much for joining. Please make sure you've liked before you go, subscribe before you go. The support has been amazing. I am going to start thinking about how I'm going to improve stuff for next season. So anything you like, anything you want, please feel free to DM me, drop it in the comments, all of that. I am thinking about next season. There's going to be some exciting stuff coming for the members next season. Some members stuff, which I'm really excited to start doing next season. I might do this season if we've got like extra days and stuff like that I can do it as a run up just to see what members think. But we are going to see that between now and the end of the season. Thank you all so much for joining. Good luck in game week 35. We only have 3 game weeks left now that we can actually impact. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy the football. And I'll be back again very soon.